All right, we're back here. If y'all weren't part of what I just did here, I had attempted this stream the first time, and somehow it got rugged with YouTube deciding, after working just fine for a good 20 minutes, it decided, hey, I don't want to work no more. So the stream got rugged. But, anyways, we're back. Can y'all let me know in the chat if everything is okay? Like, if you guys don't hear me or something, let me know. If you guys aren't seeing me or if something's not working, let me know because I just rely on this little red thing here that says live. I rely on that to be accurate, and apparently it's not accurate. So, what I wanted to talk about today is we don't need marketing because what I want to really hit home on, what I want to really convince everybody of, what I want to hopefully persuade everyone to understand is that marketing does not convince people to buy something. Marketing does not convince somebody to want something, or at least not no more. And I've said this before here on the stream that went down. I'll say it here again. How many magazines tried to get men to like something that they were never going to like? How many magazines were pushing fat pigs and non-organic women? That's what I call them, non-organic women, if you know what I mean. Right? Playboy put a bunch of fat pigs on the centerfold, and they put a not naturally born woman on the centerfold and tried to get men to like that. And now Playboy is going under. Or how about Sports Illustrated? They put a bunch of fat, disgusting pigs on their skimpy swimming issue, and they're going under. They seriously tried to get men to like Lizzo. I was totally cool with Ashley Graham, but no, I'm not cool with Lizzo. I'm not going to like that. I'm not going to look at something that is incredibly unhealthy and basically a celebration of someone's potential early death. And you want me to lust at that? You want me to go, oh, yeah, that looks so great? No, I'm not going to do that. Or how about the uglification of video game characters? I'm not even a gamer, and I understand, though, why gamers are so upset. And I tell you, I got a lot of respect now for gamers. I did not respect gamers. I respect them before. I did not respect them before. I do respect them now because they were quick to completely destroy stuff that was thrown and trying to be shoved down their throats. Like this one video game called Dustborn, where it just had the ugliest characters. It put an end to that and destroyed them. Good on you, gamers, for really playing your cards properly and showing them what kind of power that you have here. I mean, this is something that a lot of people they don't think that they have the power. You know, this is going to be the theme of today's program here of your weekly or bi-weekly edition of Shut the Fud Up. You have a lot more power, guys, than you think you do. A lot more. You're just not wielding it in the most efficient and correct way. I'm going to show you how to do that because that's the subject of today's stream. We don't need marketing. Let me show you what to do instead that's going to legitimately help the price chart. All right. So, what I said before, I'll say it again. I ran a business once. I ran a laundromat. And when I first opened it, you see, what I did was I bought a laundromat that went under. It failed because they didn't keep up with the machines. And the machines were constantly broken down. And I'll tell you, like, what's going to really annoy people that are trying to go get their laundry done? What's going to really annoy them is they'll come to your laundromat, and if they see 5 to 10 machines out of order, they're probably just going to go somewhere else. So what I did was I bought the place. I took out all the old machines and put in all brand new machines. Everything in there was brand new. We remodeled it, new floors, new drywall, everything. It made it look like the nicest, cleanest place in the whole city. And then what I did was I did some direct mail. I sent out a bunch of postcards, very nicely, sleek designed postcards that I sent out to everybody in the zip code. Everybody got one, the whole zip code. And what I had to do was I had to buy some names and addresses off of a list of some sort of like marketing company. I had to buy it all. And here's what happened, guys. I mean, The postcards and everything said everything that they needed to say to entice people. They said, hey, under new management and all new machines, wash and dry in an hour or less. Had all of that. Guess what happened? 75% of those postcards were sent back to me. Every single day, the mail lady was coming in here and handing me, hey, this postcard, the address was wrong, the name was wrong. We can't send this out. That's what's going to happen if you guys are going to attempt to send out HEX postcards or PulseChain postcards, and you're going to attempt to do it by like buying names of where you think rich people live and the rich zip codes and buying those addresses. Oh yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make sure that we get some whales in here. I mean, post office has some program called Every Door Delivered. It costs thousands, you guys. It costs thousands to do that. As I can see in that program, they'll deliver it to the address no matter what. Even if we ain't got to worry about like having the name right or the address exactly right, they'll deliver it to just every single door in a zip code. That costs a lot of money. And let's suppose for a second, though, that people get the postcards. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. 99% of the cases, here's what's going to happen. They get the postcards, they're going through the mail, they're like, okay, here's a bill, here's this, here's that, here's a postcard. They're going to throw it away. That's all that's going to happen. Because what we're doing here is interruption marketing by sending direct mail, and it's obsolete. It's obsolete. You see, what ticks me off, and something that I'm never cool with, is when somebody is advertising something to me by interrupting me in what I'm doing. Like when I go to a website and I see a pop-up, I've never bought anything that came to me by way of pop-up ad, and I'll tell you what, if you want to make sure I never buy something, make a pop-up ad that interrupts the thing I'm trying to do online. Trying to go to this website here to look at something, to read something, to buy something, and you feed me this pop-up ad. I'm not buying whatever it is you're putting in that pop-up ad then. I'm going to automatically hate it. So you do interruption marketing, immediately you're putting a bad taste in people's mouth. That's how obsolete it is. Now, even if these postcards worked, suppose they worked, all right? And people, they didn't throw them away. What they did was they said, oh, this HEX thing looks interesting. Let me go over to the internet and type in what is HEX, what is PulseChain. What's the first thing you think they're going to see? What they're going to see is a wrecked chart. Right now, the chart does not look good. Do you think that that's going to help people have the confidence to go buy it? Do you think that people are going to be so convinced by the postcard that, oh, yes, you must buy this thing here, that they're going to look past a wrecked chart? And you know me, I'm not a hater. I am not some hater out here like jail rat crypto. It says, oh, X has the worst charts ever. I mean, the whole crypto market is wrecked. And I have shown you guys multiple times what is the legitimate explanation for why price performance is so bad right now. And it's not something to worry about. We all know that. But you think some rando that gets a postcard is going to know that? They're going to understand that it's because the treasury is over 4%. A 10-year treasury is yielding over 4%. That is the reason why all of crypto is down. You think they're going to know that? You think that they're going to be able to look past that and go, yeah, I really want to invest in this HEX thing because I got a postcard. And even though I'm seeing a chart that sucks right now, and even though I'm a human being that suffers from confirmation bias, I still want to buy it. You think that that's going to happen? Let's suppose for a second that it did. Suppose just for 1 second that it did. If they decided, yeah, I'm going to look past this price chart here. I'm going to set my own confirmation bias aside. I'm going to set my own recency bias aside. And I'm going to buy this thing. Go back in time to the first time that you bought HEX, that you bought PulseChain. Was that an easy process? It was not an easy process for me. And I'm not some big, dumb boomer neophyte technophobe. No. I'm somebody that is part of a generation that was raised with technology, didn't have any trouble getting into Coinbase. But the first time I went to buy HEX, I wasn't sure I was doing it right. It was the first transaction I ever did on MetaMask. I didn't know anything about MetaMask or DeFi in general. So you think that these people that get this postcard and look past the negative price chart are going to understand what they need to do to actually install a browser plugin. I mean, a lot of people don't even know what browser plugins are. I mean, a lot of people don't even have computers. A lot of people use phones to do all of their internet browsing, do all of the work that they do on the internet. They use phones to do it. A lot of people don't even have a computer. And you say, well, you can get MetaMask on your phone. Really bad idea. Real bad idea. Don't do that. But let's run through the steps here. So what somebody's going to have to do is first they're going to have to go to a centralized exchange like Coinbase, and they're going to need the KYC, which is fine. I'm willing to do that if it gets me into crypto. If it gets them into assets that have asymmetric performance, absolutely, they'll do it. Okay. Well, here's the next thing that they're going to do. They're going to be on Coinbase. They're going to be looking at, hey, where's this HEX thing I'm supposed to buy? Where's this PulseChain thing I'm supposed to buy? And they can't find it. They can't find it. So now they're going to go back to the internet, and hopefully they're going to go back to the internet, and they're going to look this up here. How do I buy HEX? And they get on one of Crypto Coffee's videos, which are very good, by the way. No hate against them. But first off, you think that they're going to follow that thing step by step without making a single mess up? You think that's going to happen? You think that they're going to be like, oh, I got to do this, all these steps right here, and they're going to follow them to the letter and not make one mistake? So I can't just buy the thing on Coinbase. I got to install this browser plugin. I don't even know what a browser plugin is. And then I've got to come up with a seed phrase that I'm supposed to write down and make sure no one sees. And I'm supposed to keep it real safe, because if I don't keep it safe, I'm going to lose all my money. And then I need to transfer money from Coinbase into MetaMask, which I'm not even sure if I'm doing that right. And also, it's not like sending a wire transfer or sending an electronic funds transfer. This is something where over on the other side, when that money gets to MetaMask, there's no customer service or anybody I can talk to verify I'm doing anything right. I think people are going to be comfortable sending thousands of dollars even doing something like that. You see, the journey that you and I have been on, we've been on it for years. And it was a very long journey of multiple steps, maybe thousands or millions of steps to go from somebody. I mean, I went from somebody who thought crypto was a total scam to one of the loudest voices about crypto in my social circle. There was a lot of steps in between. You think that people are going to be inspired to take all of those steps just from getting a postcard in the mail? No, they are not. And on top of that, I still haven't even finished all the steps. So they send the money to MetaMask, and then what do they got to do? They got to go over to PulseChain bridge, and they got to either know how to use a bridge, which of course, they never heard of crypto before. They're not going to know how to use a bridge. They're going to have to look that up. They're going to have to probably download the software, which if you download it onto Windows, on a Windows computer, you know what's going to happen? When you try to open it up and use it, Windows gives you a little warning saying, hey, sir, you want to use this? It's fishy. And you think people are going to be inspired to continue and move on to the next step when they see that? No, they're not. But suppose that they did. They're going to have to bridge the assets over to PulseChain. And first, they got to add PulseChain manually into the MetaMask. They got to know what the RPC is. You think they even know what an RPC is? No, they don't. So they got to know how to do that. And then they've got to know how to bridge the assets over to PulseChain and then go to PulseX, run the software on their computer or whatever it is we're doing now, and then buy the assets. This is a lot of steps here, you guys. A postcard is not going to get them to do that. So that is the first thing I want to say, is that even if it worked, which it does not, you're making a tremendous leap of faith thinking that they're going to be inspired to take all of these steps here just from receiving a postcard that looks interesting. First thing we need an easier way into the assets. I know we got Xcoast out there. I tell you what, Zero Xcoast, I tried using them. And, whenever I wired money to them the old way, like back in 2024, before they had this old glory bank crap, like back in March 2024, everything worked pretty fine for me. I was wiring money to them and I was making my purchases there. Didn't have any trouble there. But ever since they started this old glory bank crap, it is not easy as it should be, guys. I mean, anybody out there using the old glory bank way, I'd love to have you on and talk to you about this. And I'd love for you to show me how it works here and everything. Show me that it works for you. Because I'll tell you what, I did a test transaction on it once. I just sent $50 from Bank of America to the Old Glory Bank for the 0x Coast on ramping. Money disappeared. It's never shown up. I contacted both banks. I contacted X Coast. Nobody got back to me. Nobody knows what happened. Good thing it was just $50. Because imagine somebody else doing that and they send $5,000. You think they're going to have a good taste in their mouth about PulseChain? No, they're not. So we need a better way in. Because even though we want to be DeFi, we still need some centralization. Even if we stay off the exchanges altogether, I mean, you still got to use an exchange sometimes just to get into the ecosystem. And I know what Richard had said and what a lot of people out there say, well, what if some haters get the cards and they make posts about them? We get free advertising from our haters. Isn't that great? Well, that happened once. But do you really think you're going to catch lightning in a bottle a second time? I mean, for one, all the days of all publicity is good publicity, those days are over, guys. You want proof of it? Look at Disney Plus. And look at what happened with Star Wars on Disney Plus, especially that one TV show called The Acolyte. That was the most talked about show of 2024. It really was, on YouTube at least, and on Twitter. It was the most talked about show. How did it do? The only reason people were talking about it was to roast it. That was not good publicity. It got a ton of publicity, but none of the publicity that it got was good. And the show got canceled because it sucked. Nobody wanted to watch it. People wanted to watch. I guarantee you, more people watched the videos roasting it than watching the actual content itself. So all publicity is not good publicity. Those days are over. Second, our haters are not going to help us because I'll tell you, here's what our haters do. You know what they do now? They lie about the ecosystem. They lie about what's going on. Case in point, they lied about the case dismissal. They're still saying, oh, it was just a little technicality over jurisdiction. That's what Scott Melker said. They lied about it. And they have no problems lying about it. They're not going to tell you that it was about failure of state of claim. No, they're just going to continue lying and spending their own narrative about it. So you think they're going to help us if they get a HEX postcard? If anything, they're just going to throw it away. They lied about the SAC address. Remember, there's one clown I saw. I forget his name and I forget exactly when the video came out. But there's one clown that posted this video where he shows the HEX chart or the PulseChain chart. It was the PulseChain chart. He shows it where it's just going down. He shows the most negative view of the chart here, all the red candles and everything at the worst possible time. And he said, you know, people sacrificed $1 billion for this. Look at that. The $1 billion is gone. You see it right there? It's gone down. The $1 billion all gone down. He's pointing to the PulseChain price chart and lying, saying that was the SAC funds going down. A lot of people didn't have the knowledge, don't know that what he's saying is crap and that he's conflating two totally separate things. And they buy into that thinking, oh yeah, that PulseChain thing's a joke. Our haters lie about us. They're not going to help us. They lie about the price chart even. They even lie about the price chart the way that it currently is. Because I keep showing the price chart where it's just this great big spike up and then a great big spike down because they're not hitting log on it. And they say, yeah, look at this, man. Imagine being a Hexkin right now. How stupid those guys must be. You think haters lying about us helps us? I mean, there's one guy out there. I got to tell you about this. One hater of ours, worse than Eric Wall. He has told so many lies about HEX, about PulseChain. He's made it his personal mission to continue spreading lies about it, to keep people out of it, because he's dug himself a hole so deep. Like, if we get the prices turned around and we have some God candles come in, this guy is going to be like totally screwed. His credibility will be ruined forever. We'll be making fun of him forever. I intend to do that, actually. But he's on a mission here to make sure that misinformation and lies are being spread about HEX. Now, like in a regulated securities market, we can't do that, actually. You know, it's actually illegal to spread rumors or false information about stocks. It's illegal to do that. You can get in a lot of trouble with the SEC, possibly even go to prison. There ain't no regulations like that on crypto. So they can run around and tell all the lies that they want. So our haters are not going to help us if they get a postcard and they go, look at this. Oh my God, I can't believe I got this HEX postcard. This is so outrageous. And then people are going to think, well, oh, that's free marketing. That is not going to happen, you guys. Not going to happen. Don't count on it. Because our haters constantly lie about what's going on. We have so many positive things going for us, like the SEC case dismissal, and they lie about it. They lie about Interpol, saying that, oh yeah, Richard, he's going to get arrested at some point right here. I mean, Interpol has never solved a problem. They've never arrested a criminal. They've never stopped a terrorist. They're really one of the biggest international jokes, and they're running around acting like it's the most official, important thing. Like it's a bunch of Jack Bauers running around looking for some serious terrorists, and Richard is a terrorist on that list. Haters are not going to help us, guys. Get that through your heads. And you know what, though? There's one thing that we can do that the haters can't lie about. There's one thing that if we did this, those haters are going to lose all credibility, and they're going to have to legitimately eat their own words. And they're going to have to eat their own words like eating poop right out of someone's butt, like in that movie Human Centipede. Don't watch that movie, by the way. But it'd be just like that. If we were able to do this one thing, you know what it is? Green candles, green bubbles. They are also the best kind of marketing because green candles make more green candles. Right now, here's the impression everybody has of our ecosystem is that every little pump that we get, a bunch of people tap out and sell. Everybody cheats out after every single little pump. We can't sustain a pump. But what if we did this here? What if we were the only green bubble just this past weekend when everything else in the crypto market was dying because of the war? What if we were the only thing that had not just a green candle and a green bubble, but it was the biggest green bubble you've ever seen? And what if we consistently did that? And I'll tell you how we can do that. I'll tell you how we can do that when I get into what we should do instead here. But what you guys got to bear in mind here is that any type of advertising, any type of marketing, whether it be through direct mail, whether it be through Google ads, whether it be through Facebook ads, none of it is going to help us because you can't market something that says you have a great product if we don't have that great product. Now, I know we have a great product, but you see, in this context here, a great product means a great price chart. We can't go out there with marketing that says we got a great product when what defines a great product is having a great price chart. So instead, what we need to do is we need to strive to have a great price chart. So no, direct mail will not help us because the average person here, let's be honest here, the average person in America, really the average person in the world is dumb. You can't be dumb and get into DeFi. There is a very steep learning curve that you have to get. You're not going to get it from a postcard. Worst of all, your average person is lazy. Lazy. Because I got to tell you guys something about this here. Head on over to reinventideal.com if you want to know what I really do. This is why I stream like once a week at the most here, because my real business is what I'm really committed to. What I'm going to do over at reinventideal.com, helping guys find happiness and live a better life and get their life in order and basically stop them from becoming the depressed old guy or the person like Kevin Spacey in American Beauty. Like remember, look at the beginning of American Beauty where he's talking about his life and he says, oh yeah, me in the shower here is the high point of my day because it's all downhill from here because he's married to a woman that doesn't love him. He has a daughter that doesn't love him. He works a job that he hates. A lot of guys live that life. My coaching program helps those guys to reinvent themselves. That's what reinvent ideal means, is to, you were told the ideal was one thing. You were told that it was to get married, have kids, work a corporate job, climb a corporate ladder, get a nice big house with a picket fence, coach little league on Saturdays, go to church on Sundays, be actively involved in your community. You were told that was the ideal. You got the ideal, and now you realize that life sucks Let me show you a new idea. Let me show you how to reinvent it. That's what I do over there. And I'll tell you, the biggest problem I have coaching guys there is they're lazy. I make a plan for guys. I say, hey, here's how you fix your life. Here's how you can make more money. Here's how you can meet more women. Here's how you can get in better shape. And they're like, but I don't want to do that. Because it's work. It takes work. Everything worth doing takes work. And they always say, well, I don't want to do that. And I said, well, you know what? Then I guess you suffer. Enjoy suffering then. I mean, maybe you really don't want a better life then. You want to keep suffering because you enjoy laziness. I mean, this is how powerful laziness is, guys. Laziness is more powerful than what we believed once was the most powerful force on earth. You know what that is? The male sex drive. That should be the most powerful force on earth because it's responsible for all civilization. But apparently, some guys are so lazy that they would rather enjoy gluttony and sloth and doing nothing than doing what is required for them to actually get their rocks off with a woman. That's how powerful laziness is. You can see it just from how many fat guys are out there. They love food more than they love sex. So this is what we're up against, guys. A postcard is not going to get people to overcome their own laziness. So here's the bombshell I want to drop for today. Rackham Rishel, I accept your challenge. You offered $1 million. Let's look at that here. I want to show you guys this here. You guys should remember this here. Rackham Rishel, where are you, my brother? Where are you, old buddy? I'll show everybody this here. Yeah, this challenge right here. Your challenge to a live recorded debate with PulseChain founder Richard Hart. I will debate this point here that we don't need marketing. I mean, here it doesn't say what the debate is supposed to be about. I mean, if the debate is about something else, no, I don't want to debate Richard on anything else in this. I will debate him on this. And you know what? I hope I'm wrong. I hope that we have this debate and Richard humiliates and destroys me and makes me look stupid. I will look stupid for you guys if it gets Richard to come back. And if it turns out I'm wrong, I will gleefully admit that I'm wrong. But I accept this challenge. I want to debate this point. No, we don't need marketing. And it's not going to help us. Because why? Well, for everything I said so far, but let's not forget this here, guys. Do you see this? Where is the 10-year treasury at? It is still above 4%. How many times do I need to explain this, everyone? When a 10-year treasury is above 4%, there is not one speculative risk on asset that is going to have a stellar performance because the money's not going to it. Until this 10-year treasury comes down, we haven't even seen a bull run yet. So I accept the debate if that's the case here. That's what we can debate on. If that's the case. And I'll tell you what, the $1 million, let's say I was given the $1 million. I mean, I don't understand why nobody has taken up this challenge here yet. I mean, would you accept $1 million to get humiliated and look stupid in a debate? Absolutely, I would do that. Absolutely. But I don't want to see you guys waste money on things like postcards. I don't want to see you waste money like we did back on the NASCAR thing. When we sponsored a car for NASCAR, what did that do for the price? Did that do anything for the price? And you know what that cost? That cost $1 million. Rackham, you're offering $1 million. Why don't you just put that $1 million into PulseChain? Because here's the deal. When did Bitcoin get the highest percent returns? When did that happen? That happened very early on when there was no marketing, when there was no ETF, when there was no coverage of it on CNBC. It got the best returns when nobody was marketing, when it was just within the hands of cypherpunks. And it spread because it was an idea, and the idea virus spread from person to person. And it spreads faster than any virus. But you see, now that Bitcoin is marketing, it's posting the lowest returns that it's ever posted. And guys, just having discussions about how to market how we can market PulseChain. Just having these discussions like you guys are having live on stream. You know what you're doing? You're giving fuel, you're giving ammo to our haters, because our haters are out there saying that we're admitting defeat when we talk about how we need to market PulseChain, because what they're saying is that good projects don't need marketing. And you know what? For once in their life, they're right, because Bitcoin never needed no marketing. Ethereum never needed marketing. PulseChain does not need marketing. It just needs a good price chart. So this is what I want to present as the alternative. What should we do instead? What's the better thing to do? I've got 4 things that all of us can do. Maybe 5 things, at least 4 things everybody here watching can do. All you guys watching, write this stuff down or bookmark this stream and remind yourself these are 4 things you can do. 1, if we're going to spend any money at all, we're not spending it on marketing. You know what we're going to spend it on? We're going to spend it on an easier way in. All right. Now, I know that you guys are very averse to this, and I understand because we got burned by exchanges before. But I'll tell you what, MEXC, that's not a legitimate exchange. I mean, just look at that name here, man. When I first saw it, I was thinking, what the heck is that? Is that some sort of Mexican exchange? So MEXC, yeah, they screwed us. I'm talking about a real exchange like Kraken, like Gemini, like Coinbase. Screw Binance. All they do is hate on us and gatekeep us. We have zero reason to not be on Coinbase, to not be on Kraken, to not be on Gemini. We have every reason in the world to be there because we got regulatory clarity. And of course, I know somebody's going to say, well, the Interpol thing. These guys over at these exchanges know that Interpol is bullcrap. Okay? So, if you're going to spend any money at all, you spend the money to get us on an exchange, because then when you tell friends about PulseChain, they go, okay, well, where can I buy it? You don't have to tell them the big 20-step list here of, well, first you got to get on the Coinbase, then you got to install MetaMask, then you got to get a feed phrase, then you got to bridge, then you got to download PulseX. You ain't got to tell them all that. You just say, oh, yeah, just go to Coinbase and look up PulseChain and you buy it right there. And that's it. That's it. So if you can make an easier way in, that is more powerful and more effective than any form of marketing. Second thing that you can do, we got to fight the gatekeeping. Why aren't we listed properly on CoinMarketCap? Why aren't we listed properly on CoinGecko? I mean, the fact that we got 2 coin ranking sites, that means they compete with each other. And here's what you can do. You can say, hey, CoinGecko, you want to be ahead of CoinMarketCap, don't you? I'll tell you, here's one way that you can do it is you can get some allies here and really please a very actively community. And this, we want to see how active this community is. Take a look at Rabbi's ratings. Take a look at the ratings for Rabbi. This is how powerful this community is here. And this is like how committed they are to helping those who serve them and hurting those who gatekeep them and destroy them. List PulseChain properly. Why don't you do that, CoinGecko? And then you're going to see a new influx of users on CoinGecko, and it's going to be best of all. Best, you know what's the best thing about these new influx of users is? They're going to be loyal to you. They're not going to be using CoinMarketCap ever again. Or we could go to CoinMarketCap and do the same thing. They say, hey, CoinMarketCap, you want to do something that your competitor CoinGecko is not willing to do? Here's how you do it. Third thing, got to deal with these haters. And here's the deal. When we're dealing with these haters, you know what we got to do? Big problem I talked about haters today is that they lie. And they are legitimately lying when they say, oh, yeah, PulseChain's case got dismissed because of a technicality over jurisdiction. That's a lie. It's a lie. We have the facts. It was dismissed because of failure to state a claim. So you know what you have the right to do now? When you see something like that happening on YouTube or on Twitter, you have the right to flag them. So when you see haters lying about us, you flag them. And you say, hey, this is misinformation, and here's the fact. Here's the fact here. That's all you got to do. Take a look at Rabbi. You think Rabbi is really proud of their decision to stop supporting PulseChain? You think that that's going to be a decision that ages like wine? Yeah, Johnny there says there, Johnny Chaos in the chat here. He says, we tried that. We had Nomics. Nomics sold out. Now we got to remember what kind of guy that, what was his name? Clay Collins was, because we saw him in the Highest of Stakes documentary. And he was saying things like, oh, yeah, heck, that culture risk. He was also saying things like, we, we're not as decentralized as he thought we were. I mean, like some of the claims that he made that was easy to debunk. Like, he was saying, oh, there's a gazillion daughter addresses right here. What is this? Is he trying to pull off a fraud to make it look like it was more decentralized than it really is? Oh, really? That was the easy answer to it. It was like, no, there's a lot of daughter addresses here so that it's secure. So that, if we have a problem with one address, we got a bunch of others here, and that things are spread out, and that there are multiple points of failure. So Clay Collins just wasn't an honest guy, and that's why he sold out there. And where's Nomics today? I don't think Nomics is still around anymore, is it? So I wouldn't be worried about past history here. And on top of that, Nomics, I don't think ever really became a big deal in the coin ranking sites, because if they were, they'd still be around today, and they're gone. So you need to move with vengeance, or with a vengeance, against the haters. Because when the haters lie, you need to flag them. When you got somebody that is being dishonest with the price chart, don't just leave a comment. Instead, flag it. And you let X know. You let YouTube know, hey, this person is lying, and here are the facts. Here's the proof that I'm right and he's wrong and he's lying. So those idiots over at Bankless are going, oh, yeah, Richard Hart, he had his case dismissed by the SEC. They withdrew the case against him. They're like, The SEC failed to state a claim, and the judge said, hey, SEC, you guys are a bunch of imbeciles, and you're making fools out of yourselves, and you're making a mockery of my courtroom. I'm dismissing this case. We got the facts on our side. So you flag the haters. You show no mercy, just like you did with Rabbi. I guarantee you, Rabbi is regretting their decision to not even talk to us, because we tried extending the olive branch multiple times before they stopped supporting us. We tried multiple times to be civilized and get a line sent out to them and like, hey, what is it you guys need to continue supporting PulseChain? They wouldn't even talk to us. Guys are paying the price now, ain't you, Rabbi? You guys down to a 1-star rating. Yeah. You were supposed to be the new competitor to MetaMask, and now you guys are basically the laughing stock of all crypto wallets. Nice going. Now, here's the number one thing. Everybody do this, all right? I don't know if what everybody's money situation is, but here's what I do. I got a daily DCA going on, not into any coins or anything. I just buy $10 of USDC a day. Or when I am doing particularly well at the business, I ramp it up to $50, $100 a day. Right now it's $10 because I'm slowing down for the summer. And I let it stack up. And here's why. What I wait to see happen is a red day, nothing but red candles across the board on all crypto assets, like this past weekend when the war started. Wait till then, because one, I'm going to buy at a very low price. But two, imagine if all of us did this. If all of us waited, like we were stacking up USDC, and then on a red day when the whole market is down, we all plowed in to PulseChain. We all plowed into HEX. What's those crypto bubbles charts going to look like when everything is red and HEX is not only the only green bubble, but it's the biggest one that's taken up the whole screen? What do you think? What kind of impression do you think that's going to have? What kind of marketing do you think that's going to do for us? You see, what is the point of wasting your money on marketing, hoping that somebody's going to receive your marketing, and from that, they're going to put money into the asset, when you could have just put that money that you spent on the marketing, you could have just put that into the asset yourself, and no hope was required. You weren't relying on somebody else to do something. Any dollar that you spend on postcards is better spent on buying the actual thing that you want to go up. If you can make this happen, if we can make this happen, where we have green candles when everything else is red, we're the most interesting thing then to talk about on crypto YouTube for that day, on uh, crypto X for that day. We're the most positive thing, most interesting thing to talk about. Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh man, everything is down." Oh, except for Hex. What's this Hex thing? Because a lot of people probably haven't even heard of Hex. And you know what's really going to happen is uh, we're going to go over to Crypto Banter, and Rand Nooner is going to be on his little stream there, and he's going to pull up the bubbles. He's going to be like, "Okay, well, let's see right here. What do we got going on here in the crypto market today? Let's see, a whole lot of red. Oh, there's this really big green bubble here that says Hex. I'm going to close that out. Oh, there's another big green bubble here that says Pulse. I'm going to close that out. Oh, another one that says PLSX close. I don't want that. Ink, I don't want that either here. Okay, yeah, we're looking at a really red day. You think that he's going to get away with that when like everything is getting destroyed and there were like these big 50% bubbles that he could have talked about and chose not to? And if we're consistently doing this, that is what's going to be more effective than any form of marketing, because green candles are the best form of marketing possible, because they bring about more green candles. I know somebody's going to say, well, but streaming is marketing. I do my streaming. Guys, I'm not so sure that our streaming is helping the price. I'm not so sure about that. Now, I'd like to think that what I do helps, but I'm not even convinced that what I do helps here. Here's what I'm thinking is that, how about instead of streaming, I'm not saying don't stream. I'm not saying don't get the wrong impression. I'm not saying don't stream, but how about instead of us doing like the big 4-hour streams that we used to do, what if during those 4 hours, you just worked an extra shift and you put the money that you made from the extra shift into Hex and PulseChain? I mean, one has guaranteed positive price push-up results. The other one doesn't. You guys got to be a lot more judicious, not just with your time, but also with your activities of, is what I'm doing going to actually produce the results that I want? Is what I'm doing going to actually produce the results that I want? The $1 million that we spent for one weekend at NASCAR would have had a much more positive impact on the price if that $1 million was just put into PulseChain. If Rackham's $1 million, he's issuing challenges out for somebody to take up a debate Richard Hart, if he just took that $1 million and stuck it into PulseChain, that would do a lot more for our ecosystem than anything that this debate would do. So here's what I'm saying to everybody. Instead of spending money on marketing, postcards, ads, whatever, that you hope is going to get in front of the right eyeballs, and you hope that those eyeballs are going to understand how to buy the asset you want them to buy, why don't you just use that money to buy the asset? Let's just use that money to buy the asset, especially right now when it really is one of the best times to buy. We haven't looked at any charts here, so how about we pull up some charts here and call it a day? Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing there. All right. Let's see. There's the chart I want to look at. All right. Coin market cap ain't doing anything right. Or coin market crap. Okay, finally got it up here. All right. Look at this. We had some incredibly red weekend here. Imagine if we were the only green thing on this red weekend. Like, people go to coin market cap and they see nothing but red. They look at crypto bubbles, they see nothing but red, but these 4 assets or 5 assets are the only green things on the charts. What if that happened? I mean, you don't think that maybe they would at least be curious about what Hex and PulseChain is? You don't think they'd at least be curious about it? I think that they'd at least be curious about it. I think that we're going to have like a much easier time here getting positive attention when we have those green candles than when we send out postcards and hopefully our haters get it and hopefully they post on Twitter, oh my God, I got a postcard about HEX. And then hoping that counts as free advertising from our haters that hopefully inspires somebody to look into HEX. All right. I think my scenario is much more likely to happen. The other scenario is very unlikely to happen. So, you want to know what to do? That is what you do. You buy. Do a daily DCA, find some USDC or some DAI or some Tether, just let it stack up. Then on a really red day across the board when the market is down, bridge it over to PulseChain and buy, execute all of that money. I mean, what you're doing if you is you are putting your money where your mouth is. Putting your money where your mouth is. And that is what's going to bring about more green candles. That's what's going to help us out the most here. Not sending out some postcards and advertisements, hoping somebody else is going to ride in on a white horse and rescue you. All right? And let's see what Johnny here says we don't need everybody. We need the people we have to start valuing what they hold. 100%. I agree with you right there, Johnny. 100%. Because the impression everybody has of the PulseChain ecosystem and the PulseChain community is that we're just a bunch of Jeets that are going to sell off any pump that ever comes in and act like a bunch of weak-handed idiots. That's the impression everybody has. We want to create the impression that, no, we believe in our thing so much that we buy it even when the market looks like it's going to face absolute destruction and go straight to hell. We buy our assets then, just like we did when the Interpol notice first came out. I was proud of us for a good 2 days when that happened, when we bought a whole bunch more HEX, a whole bunch more PulseChain, more PulseX to push the price up when the Interpol notice was pushing us down. That is what we want to show, because that shows, that shows to any new eyes out there that, hey, this is a community that values what it holds, that takes its positions seriously, that stands behind what they believe in, and that puts their money where their mouth is. And then 2, when we're the only thing that is green, the only thing that's performing well, there is not a damn thing that our haters can do. They're just going to have to sit there and take that green candle right up the ass. That's all I've got to say. Cairo out.